in very simple forms, one point perspective is a drawing method that shows how things appear to get smaller as they get further away from you, or converging towards a single vanishing point on the horizon. It's a way of drawing objects upon a flat piece of paper or another drawing surface so that they look three-dimensional and realistic. So the first thing you're going to do is put your vanishing point in the centre of your page. So this is where your do now came in to give you that practice to draw those squares and those rectangles. I'm placing them around the vanishing point in a very random way because I want some horizontal and some vertical, some closer together, some closer to the vanishing point and some further away. I'm drawing mine freehand, but you can use a ruler if you would like to. So every single line that we're going to draw now is going to end up at our vanishing point. So we're going to look at the corner of one of the squares, okay, and with our ruler we are going to draw a line from a corner of one of those squares, any square, straight down to the vanishing point, and it's really important that it goes straight to the vanishing point, not to either side of it. It needs to go directly to that vanishing point. These lines down to the vanishing point are then going to draw our eyes right down, and all the lines are going in the same direction. You will need a ruler for this part of the task, okay, because we want those nice crisp lines. You can see that if you are drawing a line and it meets another square, then you need to stop where it meets the square. We don't want to put the lines going through any of the squares because we want these to look like solid shapes. If you see a corner at the back and you would have to draw a line through one of the squares, then you don't need to put it in. Okay. So we're going to continue around with every square or rectangle that we have drawn. Just take one corner at a time, line up your ruler to the vanishing point, that dot in the centre, and continue to line up all the corners with lovely crisp lines going to that vanishing point. And already you can see it's beginning to build up some really three-dimensional shapes which look as if they are sort of bursting all out of a centre point, the vanishing point. Some of your lines are going to create really small sides to these shapes, but that's okay, we still need them in there. It helps to give us that perspective and form. So just continue around, making sure you're lining up with your ruler from each corner of a square or rectangle into the vanishing point. Remember, if one of your lines reaches a square or a rectangle, do not go through that square or rectangle, you're going to stop. That is going to give the illusion that this shape is behind the one in front. So whenever you come to a square or rectangle, don't put your line through it, stop your line where it meets the square. Okay, so with that vanishing point, it's given us the perspective almost as if we're up above and looking down, and we have these lovely buildings or shapes bursting out up towards us. Okay, so now we're going to draw on some of that previous learning. We're going to go back to the tonal strip that you created a couple of lessons ago, and you remember how you created a really dark tone by adding a lot more pressure with your pencil, and as you moved up the tonal range, up the tonal grid, you lightened the pressure and you managed to create some mid-tones all the way up, loosening the pressure on your pencil to get those really, really light tones. So your challenge today is to add different tones, a nice variation of tones on all the different sides of these lovely shapes. Take one surface, and I'm going to take this one on the left here, and I am going to press fairly hard and try to fill this shape in with a very dark tone. That means I'm putting more pressure on my pencil, and that's going to give me that really nice dark deep tone. My pencil marks are all going in the same direction, and I'm keeping well within my lines. We took all that time to create those lovely crisp lines, so it's really important that we stay within those lines. So that's a fairly dark tone with quite a lot of pressure. So you are then going to take each different section and try to recreate a different tone on each. We don't want two of the same tones side by side, so we want to have a really nice variation. Okay guys, so it's now over to you. Your task today is to create a 1-point perspective drawing using a range of different tones to create a really interesting final piece of artwork. Oh, and most importantly, enjoy. Don't forget to upload your lovely work at the end of the lesson. If you haven't finished it, that's fine, but just let me know at the end of the lesson. Give me a snapshot of where you're at, okay? Because you can always work into this work in your own free time and upload it next week.